Okay guys, here we are with another bike that you guys don't see too often. This is an S&M TrailFrame. How many of you guys get offended when you see the Iron Cross? Because that's the reason why they stopped making it, because some people got offended by it. I'm not sure if some of you guys remember that, but it's one of those frames where it doesn't get a lot of talk about, a lot of recognition. But during this time, it was around 2005-ish. Back then, they had two versions of it. They have what they call the race frame and the trail frame, or the RV or the TV. Same exact frame, except the trail version was thicker and more heavy duty. And it had 990s instead of V-brakes. I'm going to say it again, and I'm always going to say it. I don't know every single detail. So some of you guys that know about it, please chime in. But I did ask Mr. Chris Moeller about it, and he's like, yeah, it's something like that. So even he doesn't know the exact detail, and he's got to look back in his notes. But this bike is a very special bike. It belonged to one of the gentlemen that used to work for me when I first started this shop. It was across the street. We set him up with this, and if I recall, if some of you guys remember, there's a gentleman that rides for S&M named Marvin Lauderly, which is also dubbed as the Trail King. Okay, he rode for Atom Lab or Atomic. One of the things that gave me that idea was because back then he rode a series of S&M frames. He doesn't have his own signature frame, but you got the Atom Lab C-clamp, which is very rare. There was Atom Lab hubs and Atom Lab wheel set on here, but apparently in the storage at his parents' house, it was in the garage, and the dog for some reason loved to piss on valuable stuff. So it peed on the wheels. The dog piss completely ate through the wheels. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try to find another set of those wheels, and then we're going to rebuild it. Look at these guys. Excess. You guys remember that it was another division of Schwinn. It was Schwinn's attempt at making it more modernized instead of old school stuff. Okay. The original DK Iron Cross. What sucks is that they're not even allowed to make this anymore because of this modern world being so soft about everything. The old GT cranks that was made by Profile. The Diacom AD brakes, the 990, they still make these. Look at this, guys. After all these times sitting in the garage, it still works perfect. Now, this is gonna be something that's funny, guys. Look at these handlebars. What is, I'm gonna measure this. Could somebody predict what is this? Oh my God.
What is it? Holy shit.
It's 20 and a half. Sheesh.
What's the rise? Let's eyeball the rise.
The rise, I want to say these were
7 and a
half.
6.
7 and a half. 7 and a half. These were the Harl Slim bars. But you know, what we're gonna do is my man here, my son, Max, he's going to weld the extension on this to bring it back to life. But Luis, the one that owns this, he's not going to use these. He's going to be using some different bars, but we just want to keep these and preserve these.
Also, just wanted to point out that's an OG EPIC sticker right
OG
there.
EPIC sticker. The Shimano DX. So yeah, guys, this thing's really old school. Look, the Atom Lab chain tensioners, old school pitchfork, and of course the tank. Guys, this was the setup back then. You know, this was considered a light setup. So what we're gonna do is we're going to pretty much, not really restore, but rebuild. So what we're gonna do is we're going to get rid of all this rust. Look guys, this is just my fingernail. It's just surface rust. So we're gonna get this out. We're gonna see if we have to use that
wood bleach
that we use. This right here, it's just light oxidation. Of course, new pads. We're gonna keep the old brakes. We're gonna try to keep as much stuff on it as possible, because remember, when we redo this, it's not about just stripping everything down, putting everything new. It's about using some of the stuff that still works. I know some of you guys comment and go, why didn't you switch it? But why? If it still works, why? If it just needs oil. This is a cool piece right here. This is when, back then the Pivotal didn't come out yet, but this is probably the newest part he has on there. But this is a cool seat. 3/8, guys. Remember what I said? It is basically the race version, but trails, thicker dropout, thicker tubing. Still this. So we're gonna take this guy apart. I'm not gonna bother filming taking it apart because I don't think any of us have a problem. If any of you guys have a problem and you guys don't know how to take stuff apart, like loosening up, take it apart, that's a different issue. But we're gonna tear this thing down and we will show you the cleaning process. And when we put it together, we will show you that. As you guys can see, we tore down the whole bike, but I didn't remove the bearing because I checked the bearing, it's still good. Now here's the thing, some of you guys are gonna be really quick to judge me, go, oh, if you're gonna do it, you might as well pull it out. But guys, if the bearing that you feel it's good, outside's dirty like this, there's no point into hitting it out. There's no other way to get the bearing out besides hitting it out. So you have to face the reality of, do I hit it out and cause more damage, or do I leave it in there and then clean this as much as I can? I'm gonna opt to do that. You guys do whatever you want, but I've been doing this for a while and I'm gonna opt to do that. The headset, if you notice, we cleaned it all out. The bearings, check this out. These are the old bearing. We went and cleaned it all out. I'm gonna clean all this also. Clean all the dirt in the brakes. These are just the bolts. We'll clean this later. Clean all this, clean all this. Remember guys, I'm not restoring this thing to like some show condition. I'm just restoring to make it work better, okay? So the cranks, you remember it was all rusty? This is what we use with bleach, okay? I got it in here. It's okay, it's safe. Look at this. I'm not sure if you guys remember how much rust. There wasn't that much rust, but there was some. Watch, I'm gonna shoot it in here because there's some chemical in here, and watch it come out of here. I'm gonna do that as long as possible to get it all out. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually leave it in there overnight. See what it does? The scarring is still there. The pitting is still there, but the rust, what that thing does, it removes the surface rust and all the cancerous rust that eats in. Now, some of you guys be like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna re-chrome. That's fine. That's fine. But we're trying to do this. When you re-chrome, all this is gonna be almost gone. So, not bad. As a matter of fact, you know what? I think this is pretty good. I'm gonna yank the other one out. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna clean the frame. How I'm cleaning the frame is we got our secret sauce right here. And what you do is we got some old t-shirts. I'm gonna wet this thing down. And see, look at this. See that? Look at this, years of grease. Look at that. I'm barely putting any force on this. Look, it comes right off. Now look at the bearings. Look at this. I am not rubbing that hard, guys. Polish it like shoe shine. Look at that. There's a little bit right here. So that's just to go show you. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go through the whole frame like that. I'm just getting this thing roadworthy, smooth. We're not trying to enter any show. We're not trying to make this thing look like it's a brand new thing. We're just trying to get it back on the road working good. There's no point of putting it back together with all the dirt. Today is Sunday. We're gonna go and build it up tomorrow. So we'll finish the video tomorrow, okay? All right, guys. So it is another day and we're gonna assemble this thing. So if you guys look at this, we just showed you how dirty everything was. And we wiped it down, cleaned down with the solution that we have. Okay, it's just a cleaner. A lot of this right here is just a blemish in the paint. It's not dirty anymore. A lot of this is the rust. And remember, we are not trying to restore this for a show. We are trying to restore this to get it running, roadworthy, and smooth. One of the things that I want to show you guys before we do it, if you look at this post, real grimy. So what I like to do is I like to take a real fine grit strip kind of like give it a good, you know, clean. This doesn't require a lot of this, but there's certain bikes where it's so rusty where we have to do it a little bit more. I'm using fine sandpaper. Okay, look at that. I know some of you guys are out there using this and filing. That's a no-no because it's going to become all jagged. Give yourself a strip. If not, give yourself some sandpaper, cut into strips and just rub that. So this right here is my acid wash right there. These bolts were a little bit rusty. All I did was I just went and took some brake cables. So it got some of it out, not all of it. Now guys, this I could just go and I could just get new washers, but you know what? Figured I'll salvage whatever I can. Try to recycle, be a little bit more environmentally sound, a little bit green, you know? No, not really. I'm gonna go in there and get all this out. I'm gonna start piecing this guy together. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the crank back together. Cranks came out really nice, but other than that, the surface rust on the outside, it's all gone. And there. So the iron cross, there's a lot of oxidation on this. Here's the thing, guys. If I go and I sand this, that means I have to do all this. If I soak this in the acid, it's gonna burn a lot of this black off. So we just went and we clean off the dust and that'll be fine. Again, we're not doing this for show. So back then you have cranks and they only have one bolt, which is the drive side. Now they have both, or you get it without, which is spline. This is how you can tell one of the old ones. And then the word GT, and how you can tell from the new one to the old one, the engraving is deeper and is more bubbly. Remember, grease on everything. We clean off all the dirt, all the dust. Mallet, guys, not hammer. Every single time. This bolts in. I know some of you guys can be like, why don't you just use new bolts? You know what, we can, but those bolts are fine. The cosmetic there. Now the owner of this, he's like, hey, you know what? I don't want the bike to be pretty. I just want the bike to be functional and rolling good. And for me, I'll tend to try to save some money and not just go, oh, you know what, because we have it. No, these bolts are fine. Putting new bolts isn't gonna make it run any better. The bolt itself, the head of it isn't damaged. I'm gonna do the brakes because I just want to get it off, all this stuff off my table. I am gonna put new pads on because look, see the metal? And old pads are really, really hard. The plastic is really jacked up. Now guys, both of these springs are not the same because if you look, see how they're coiled different way? Well, they are directional. So this one right here, if you're gonna pull it out, this is wrong because when you pull it out, you're uncoiling it. So this side is the proper side because when you tighten it, it coils it up instead of going clockwise, it'll uncoil it. When you put it on, you wanna look at where, if you're gonna turn it to make the brake goes outward, if you're gonna turn it this way, you want it to coil tighter. You wanna turn it this way, counterclockwise. This is gonna be on this side. So there is a side. Some of you guys chime in. This plastic cap, I don't like it. I never use it. It's a dust cover, but it doesn't really deter dust that much. This plastic piece. Normally, I just put it on like that. Some people say, oh, dirt gets in it. So guess what, guys? All the new brakes, they don't have it. Here's the Evos. Wide open, guys. There's no plastic. So I prefer that way because this plastic, what it does is it binds up because it gets so old. But if I put it on and it shows, see like right now, look, it's kind of like hugging the spring. So already, I'm kind of getting annoyed of it already. Put this guy in. There. See how it sits? Now, this guy is gonna go on. This guy's gonna push this thing down. This is going to stay still while this moves. See it? When I do this, I could feel the friction in it. So I'm gonna put some grease in there so the friction will be gone. You know, sometimes like I get into like the building in and we run the business, I forget. But so far, put on the brakes. Butter. How many of you guys have this? Hey, well, actually, let me ask you a good question. How many of you guys get offended when you see the Iron Cross? Because that's the reason why they stopped making it, because some people got offended by it. I love it. The only thing modern on this thing is the Primo Kevlar seat post. But guys, look at this thing. Atom Lab seat clamp. Anybody out there have one? Hit me up. Hit your boy up. Also, the Iron Cross. Anybody have one of these or the smaller one? Hit me up. Because I wanna offend some people. So the headset, I didn't even remove it. All I did was clean it. I thought I said quiet on the stage. Okay, I'm gonna go and put this thing on. Lather it up. Don't worry guys, you could clean it out after. The race is already on there.
It's racist.
It is very racist. I won't have any other way. Got this? Yes, it's dry. Okay, don't worry about it. Because look, this thing is cake with it. This thing in. I wish they still make the tank headset, man. I wish they do, but you know, for some reason, somebody out there got the bright idea not to redo it. Oh no. Oh, there's that cone. Right now he's got grace on him. Hey. Ethan.
Yeah.
Could you guess how wide these bars are?
Oh jeez. 16 inches.
Are you serious?
No, I'm gonna guess.
I know white people aren't good at math, but that's ridiculous.
25 inches.
20 and a half.
No.
20 and a half.
That made my 16-inch guess not that
20
stupid.
and a half.
I was closer with my first guess.
Yes.
Holy
yes.
shit.
Top tubes are longer.
20 and a half, people.
The top tube is longer. Oh my god, Max.
All right, so we got that guy in. I'm kind of rushing it right now because this guy here, he's all packed up.
I'm literally ready to go to Florida.
Oh shoot,
He's
right
gonna,
now?
he's gonna go to Swamp Fest. He's gonna meet up with Alf. Well, I don't think he's meet up with Alf. I don't know if
Alf has a child now. He doesn't go to foolish events like that.
Alf does not have a child. Not yet.
Crashed into a bush yesterday.
Oh yeah, Alf crashed into a bush.
What?
I don't know. All those guys are.
On his e-bike, dude, someone was praying for Alfredo's downfall, and he crashed into a bush.
Oh, whoever played for my downfall, stop praying.
Okay, guys. We are ditching these little bars for the S&M Credence bar. Okay? Now, we're not getting rid of this because this right here is a collector's piece. I know it's a little beat up. I think Max, he's going to try to weld extensions on there to bring it back to his glory day, but this is going to be really good for one of those mid-school build.
This is like that meme. It's like, don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Okay, the old Enduro stem. Now look, guys, down here, if you look, you see how it has this cutout? That's how you can tell it's a really old one compared to a new one, because that was clear for gyros. That's where the gyro would be cleared. That is wild, huh? Now, I did ask some of you guys to comment in about this frame. Does any of you guys remember this frame? Does any of you guys ever had this frame? I did post it up on the Instagram, and a lot of people are like, oh dude, when did they do that? You know, the legendary John Pova. You look him up. John Phu Vu is a legend, Hall of Famer. He's like, when did they make this? It is a frame that is very low key. It's a very, very low key frame, guys. A lot of people never heard of it. It went in and out real quick. They made a race version. But yeah, thank God we're putting bigger bars. The bar looks way, way, way better. You know, okay, so Max asked me a question the other day. He was watching some old video. It's common sense. Bigger bar, better leverage. Instead of hunched over, he goes, nobody kind of like tapped on his friend's shoulder, go, hey, why don't we put bigger bars on? It's better leverage. I go, I don't know. We all just we're all sheeps following each other. So that's a good question. You guys comment in. When you guys, back in the days, when you guys rode, how come nobody ever thought about bigger bars, better leverage, easier to pull up? How come you guys didn't? I'll just admit I was just dumb. So, okay, so we're gonna put these XS pedals on. God, you know what? I'm a fan of XS. I'm not sure any of you guys are, but I didn't realize these things are really, really expensive. I found some used one on the BMX Museum, 30 bucks. $30, dude. That's insane for some used one. I think somebody has an NOS set on, and it was like $70. That is crazy. But yeah, how many of you guys are a fan of XS? I am definitely a fan of it. Somebody needs to bring it back. Oh, what was that? Oh. I don't know if you guys hear that, but it looked like somebody's fighting over there. But I was talking to Pova, and he said that apparently somebody is trying to acquire it and resurrect it. That would be great. What is your favorite XS part? I like the stem, the bars, and they had two type of hub. They had the revolver, and then they had the 4x4. The 4x4 was like the crazy oversized one that uses 2 ball bearing on each side. You guys remember any of that? Who has that? Oh man, I love this thing. This bike's becoming better and better. We're gonna put this guy on. Now guys, these are V-brake levers, but he's gonna use it on his 990, which is fine. What I have experienced is once you take U-brake levers and put on V-brakes, it doesn't work that good. But V-brake lever on U-brakes will work. Okay, so we're putting on some grime grips here because he's a fan of denim. Actually, Luis, the owner of this bike, he actually built a grime complete. So this is gonna be kind of like his retro classic car, and then the grime's gonna be his daily. All right, you guys notice? Yes, yes, yes. I am using his old brake cable, but I've said it before and I will keep saying it. I am not about just stacking on new parts if it's working. Okay, if that's what the customer wants, then cool. If you're building a show bike, cool. But we're not trying to build a show bike. We're trying to build a bike for a very practical person, and he does not care, you know, if it's new or not, as long as it works. So this cable works. If you guys look, butter. I love this lever. I don't know if you guys remember this lever. This lever is cool. All right, guys, and finally, these bad boys right here. Some NOS Atomic wheels. I've always been a fan of Atomic. They're still around. They're still around, but they mainly focus on mountain bike. I wish they get back into the BMX game. Guys, if these are not one of the best looking hubs you can get, I wish they would have made flip-flop, but how many of you guys remember Atom Lab or Atomic? Pretty much same thing. So that's what we're throwing these guys on. Since this is a trail bike, we're gonna go ahead and put on some Odyssey Aiken tires. It's the trail ones. I think it'll be very, very proper look on this. What do you guys think? Proper? What? I think these are proper. I like to put a little bit of air in this. So these are not directional. These are not directional, so these old school, really, really tall rims.
You want me to step in?
I can't. You know, it's my thumb wrestling days. Look at this kid. God, it's got to enter this guy in some of these slapping contests. Oh my God, beat. Go. ACS free wheel, guys. You know what? I know some of you guys out there, you guys like the really, really loud freewheel. Loud doesn't necessarily mean good, okay? So ACS has been doing this for decades. They're kind of one of the pioneer in doing freewheels. So what do you guys think? Too aggressive or perfect? I think they're perfect. So Max was suggesting like a half link chain, but I was like, nah, you know, I'm gonna put a full link on here because we got a plenty of dropout. Now I'm not saying that, oh, you know, it's not error correct and blah blah blah. No, not at all. But we got enough space in here that we could put on one of these. And then plus, I actually don't have any chrome half link chain right now. It kind of worked out. The KMC 510. What I would like to put on this, if we were gonna do it proper, is to put the KMC 710 SL. If I'm correct. I don't have any of those. I don't know anybody use them anymore. They're basically like the animal chain. What?
Chain tensioner.
This kid is smart. That's why I have him around, ladies and gentlemen.
Free child labor.
I have him around because it's free child labor, so. So the chain tensioner, the way it's shaped, I think it would prefer better on this side. But if you only have one, which was only one provided, it's best if you use on the side with the chain if you only have one. The old brakes they have, there's no thread. It's threadless post. But I want to show you guys something. You could use threaded posts. Okay, it doesn't look as clean, but it will work, guys. It will work. Okay. All right, guys, it is all done. Guys, what do you think about this? Now, some people might think this tire is a little bit too much. I think since this is a trail bike, this is perfect. Look at these wheels. I cannot believe we were able to find these wheels. So almost everything on this bike, guys, is the original one, and we clean it except the wheels. Now the wheels, it was the exact wheel that he had on this, but it got destroyed during just years of sitting in the garage. Apparently his dog loves to pee on the bike. His original enduro stem that was made for the gyro, his original tank headset. Is this a beauty? And when was the last time any of you guys even knew they had a trail frame? Who had it? You knew who had it? You guys did not know who had it? Comment in. And by the way, guys, Sprocket, anybody? Guys, we got some more shirts. Come and represent my man here. That's not your size. Comment in. This is a beauty, guys. This is truly a throwback. I wish he still have his original wheels. What would you guys have done different? What would you keep the same, guys. I do appreciate your comment, but comment in, okay, guys?